The Switch has been out for over 5 years now and it really makes me feel old. I remember playing Breath of the Wild back at launch and looking back it felt so different, not only in terms of hardware but software too. I don't think anyone could have expected it to be like this back in 2017. It makes you wonder, what's it going to be like in a few years from now? There are a few clues to help us. A while back, a report from an analyst stated that they believed the Switch could be potentially treated in a similar manner to smartphones. They said that like the smartphone, new versions of the Switch could be backwards compatible with all games released so far, while becoming more powerful and feature-rich. That would keep customers locked into Nintendo's entertainment ecosystem, on top of its exclusive first-party titles, while making profits and sales more predictable. What does this mean? Basically, it means they can release devices more frequently with smaller upgrades, rather than full-blown sequels every 6 years or so. At the time, I was like, nah, then there's no way they do that. But then the Switch OLED came out. This completely changed my view on where the Switch is headed. It actually makes sense when it came out, and now I can see Nintendo really stretching the lifetime of the system with more hardware releases in the future. An important thing to note is that Nintendo believes the system is about halfway in its lifetime. What will these other systems be? Well, in order to make these predictions, we have to look back at some rumours, so take these with a grain of salt. Just before the OLED was announced, rumours were heating up regarding a system with a larger 7-inch OLED display, an improved kickstand, 4K support through DLSS, and greater power. Only half of this became true, so the rumours were onto something with a good bit of precision. However, they missed the mark with the part about the greater power. Now, this is just a theory, but I reckon they had two different systems mixed up, thinking they were both the same. I believe the other leaks were actually meant for a different system. Basically, Nintendo could be working on an upgraded Switch. Is it a Switch 2? A Switch Pro? It depends on a few things. First of all, it depends on when they release it. If it's released next year, for example, my guess is that it would be a Switch Pro, an upgraded version of the Switch designed to play the same games, but better. If they leave the release too long though, chances are it will be a successor to the Switch. The difference is that it would be a more substantial upgrade, with the exclusive features, likely resulting in some games not being supported on previous hardware. Although, if it sticks with the Switch branding, it would be backwards compatible. Now let's look at the software side. As the Switch has grown in popularity, Nintendo's been pumping out more and more games, with less fear of them not selling well, partially due to the Switch effect. Judging by the continued growth of the Switch, I think you can expect a lot more games in the future, including some more niche IPs. We already have a lot announced that we can look forward to, for example the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Other future games to consider would be a new Mario game, a new Donkey Kong game, and maybe some more Metroid. Don't have your hopes up for a new Mario Kart, however, at least until the booster pass is complete. Here's a question: how many units do you think the Switch is going to sell? It's already outsold the Wii at 101 million units. Can it outsell the DS at 154 million? If Nintendo really extends the lifetime of the system, as they seem to be doing, I reckon it's possible. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Another thing to expect is a more robust subscription service. Yay! Nintendo is said to be investing about $2.64 billion in accounts and online infrastructure, along with expanding relationships with consumers. This means that they have big plans for Switch Online. I see it transcending console generations, and maybe becoming something bigger in the future. Maybe they'll eventually be things like a virtual console library, treat the service in a more similar sense to Disney Plus, with a wide library of their original and classic titles. We'll see. It's a bit of a stretch. Also, the Mario movie's coming soon. Ish. This expansion into non-gaming entertainment is a new endeavour for Nintendo, and it begs the question, will they do more? Depending on the success of the film, they may expand with more films, such as a Legend of Zelda movie. It'd be cool if Nintendo eventually had a cinematic universe. This idea is quite outlandish, but what if they eventually included these films in subscription services? Nintendo had their own version of Netflix or Disney Plus. It'd be cool, but thinking realistically, that wouldn't happen. Bear in mind these are all just theories, and also consider that they might be a bit of wishful thinking from me. But I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and click here if you want to know what to expect from the next upcoming Mario game.